107.3 radio station. Some people probably know it as 107Q, WCGQ, and myself and Mike Killer, we like to just call it the Q. So anyway, welcome y'all. So glad to have everybody here tonight. Would you please give yourselves a large round of applause? Now, with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and set the precedence here. Throughout the night, we're going to ask you for applause a bunch of times, right? Here's how you do it. Show them table number 2. All right, everybody, one time, let's go. I told y'all, there's the checks in the mail, we got this. We're good. All right, so welcome everybody to the 2026 East Alabama Chamber of Commerce Annual Dinner and Awards presented by Beam Broadband. Would you please give Beam a big round of applause? We're so excited to have each and every one of y'all here with us tonight as we celebrate the accomplishments of our awesome chamber. We're going to recognize some very outstanding individuals and businesses, and we're also going to give some scholarships, some deserving high school seniors some scholarships, and we're going to look ahead to another incredible year that we're so excited about. But before I get too much further, I would like for everybody to please give a large round of applause, like we showed you earlier, to Denise and Melissa from the East Alabama Chamber. These ladies work so hard planning things like this, and every single event we have, and we just had a spectacular truck-tacular, and we couldn't do it without all of you guys, but especially those two ladies at the helm driving the East Alabama Chamber of Commerce. I know one thing, I can sleep well at night, and every single person that's involved, knowing that we have two of the best that are leading. So we thank you, ladies, for awesome work you guys do. So thank you so much. Before we begin, please join me in a moment of reflection and gratitude as we welcome Dr. Johnny Ellison, pastor of Chat Valley Church, to come up and deliver our invocation. I like that. The steps. I love it.
So 3.5 years ago, I did something that I really never thought I was going to do at this point in my ministry life. I planted a church. It would be the second church I planted, but the last time I planted, I was 23, and now I'm not 23. And so I was not anticipating that. 3.5 years ago, we did that, and it would become Chat Valley Church. And so our mission statement is that we exist to reach and make disciples of Christ for the valley and beyond. And we felt like what we're called to do is impact the Chattahoochee Valley in a positive way. In fact, much of our resources go into impacting the Chattahoochee Valley. And so when we had a chance to become a part of the East Alabama Chamber of Commerce, it was sort of a no-brainer. Because if it does anything, it takes some of the best minds in business, in education, in civics, in finance, in all the different business places. It takes all those and brings us together in ways that we can cooperate. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the first Chamber of Commerce was launched in 1599 in Marseille, France. It's a town in South France. And the merchants decided they were tired of having their stuff stolen off of ships in the Mediterranean by pirates. Now, I know some of you only know Pirates of the Caribbean, but there were pirates in the Mediterranean. And so these merchants came together and decided that even though each one of them were successful in their businesses, they were more successful if they were to do some things together. Now, jump forward to 1912. Something else you may not know, fun fact. William Howard Taft was the president that initiated the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Not the first Chamber of Commerce in America, but the National Chamber of Commerce. Because he just believed that out of all these business people, all these agencies, all these leaders of nonprofits, churches, and organizations that do a good job as leaders, coming together on some things that you can cooperate on to make it even more effective. And I believe that for the Chattahoochee Valley, and I realize this is the East Alabama Chamber of Commerce, but I'm going to be honest with you, they impact the entire Chattahoochee Valley on both sides of the river in so many ways. And so I want to say this, there's nothing quite like some of the best leaders in the Chattahoochee Valley, many of you here tonight, your business leaders, your educational leaders, your civic leaders, your nonprofit and church leaders, and to come together and say, we're doing really well in our own entities. But if we can come together and cooperate on some things, we can make it even more effective. And I think a big part of the economic prosperity of this area has to do with coming together on things that you can cooperate. And so for that, I want to say to Melissa and to Denise that they decided, you know what? Maybe we could take the lead in bringing a bunch of businesses and nonprofits and churches and organizations and schools together. And maybe there are a lot of individual things they do, but maybe there are a few things we can do together and make this whole area more prosperous. And I think they're doing that. And so as I pray, and I am going to pray, I just think that's a large part of what we're thankful for, is that we can do that. So thank you all. Let's pray. God, thank you for these moments. Thank you, Lord, that the people in this room represent business. They represent leadership. Some of the best leaders in the Chattahoochee Valley are in this room tonight. Lord, some of the best business leaders, some of the best educational leaders, some of the best church leaders and nonprofit leaders and organizations, and agencies, civics, political leaders, Lord. And as we gather together, I'm asking that you would help this group to come together and cooperate on those things which we can and make this area, the whole Chattahoochee Valley, even more successful than it's already been. Thank you for the night. Thank you for the meal. Thank you for the opportunity to come together and do good things. And we pray this in your name. Amen.
Pastor Johnny, you know, in 1599, if we would have had these two ladies running the chamber, it would have been the fun chamber in 1599. That'd be kind of cool stuff. Thank you, Pastor Johnny. Now we'd like to take a moment. We're going to recognize some of the distinguished guests that are joining us here tonight. If you are an elected official, would you please stand and be recognized this evening, please? If you're an elected official, would you please stand and be recognized? Now we want to recognize some of our chamber board members. If you are a East Alabama Chamber board member, would you please stand and be recognized? And finally, I would like to recognize our chamber ambassadors. If you are a chamber ambassador, would you please stand and be recognized because you deserve it. Volunteers, they give their time, they give their talent to the East Alabama Chamber, and we are so thankful for them, and we're so thankful for them being here tonight. We also want to express our gratitude to our presenting sponsor for their generous support. Beam Broadband's contributions make this evening possible, and we truly appreciate their commitment to our chamber and our community. And we also want to thank them as our event sponsors. Would you please give a round of applause to Beam Broadband? And of course, we have several different sponsors tonight. W.C. Bradley Company, who is one of our founding members, and we are thrilled to be on their property, this beautiful Middle Event Center. Would you please give W.C. Bradley a round of applause? Also, Russell County Sheriff's Department, Chattahoochee Valley Community College, and Pearl Image. Thank you to all of our sponsors, and Beam Broadband again. Would you please give all of our sponsors thank you. So with that in mind, I'd like for you to direct your attention to the screen for a video of Beam Broadband.
We asked people what comes to mind when they hear the word Beam. And over time, that meaning has only grown. Beam with pride. Pride in being locally owned and rooted right here in East Alabama, serving the same communities where we live, work, and raise our families. We've been doing this since 1964. Our founder had a vision to bring the same level of technology found in bigger cities to the communities we call home. More than 60 years later, that vision has grown into a network spanning over 2,000 miles, connecting thousands of homes and businesses across East Alabama. We've grown, our technology has advanced, and our reach has expanded, but what matters most hasn't changed. We still believe great service starts with people. Beam with strength. Strength to power our region with connection you can count on. Built by local hands and driven by a shared purpose. Strong enough to deliver what you need and local enough to care how it works for you. Because to us, you're not just a customer, you're our neighbors, our friends, our family. Beam with care. Care for the communities that shaped us, the schools, first responders, local businesses, and neighbors who make East Alabama home. Every dollar spent with Beam stays right here supporting local jobs, local growth, and local progress. Beam with heart. Because what we do goes beyond service lines and signal strength. It's about connecting people to each other, to opportunity, and to what matters most. We're proud of where we started and even more excited about where we're going. Rooted in community, growing with purpose, and always bringing East Alabama more.
Would you please join me in welcoming and thanking Beam for the incredible cornerstone part of our chamber and our community. And once again, I think they deserve a large round of applause. Beam, thank y'all so much, please. One more round of applause. All right, sponsors, who take care of now, let's get the night started. Are you ready? We're ready? All right, here we go. With Fort Benning designated as an Alabama military installation, the relationship with Fort Benning remains a top priority for the East Alabama Chamber. And here to speak to us tonight is Command Sergeant Major Martin Arguello, the Garrison Command Sergeant Major at the Maneuver Center of Excellence. He grew up in western Oklahoma and enlisted in the Army in 2000. He's been very thorough leadership development courses, basic non-commissioned officer courses, Ranger School, Air Assault School, and a Jump Master School, as well as others. He earned his bachelor's degree in leadership and workforce development and is pursuing a master's degree in Homeland Security. He has many awards and he has deployed 7 times. That's over 50 months in support of global operations. He and his wife Jama, who's also here tonight, have 3 children. Let's give a very huge East Alabama welcome to Command Sergeant Major Martin Arguello as he comes to the stage.
Hey, so good afternoon, everybody. So I didn't know Dave was going to do that and highlight me. I try to be extremely under the radar if you don't know me. And that's just something I kind of grew up with a lot of the leaders that I had in the Army that made, such a huge impact on me. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. So I'm going to start off with, good evening, everybody. I'm super honored to be here, especially my wife, Jama. We're not from the area, and I'll get into a little bit of that as I kind of deep dive on this speech here. But it truly is an honor to be here today, talking to you, especially as we look at Fort Benning and then where they're going to go in the future. So not long ago, maybe, I want to say it was last Thursday, Mr. Charles Auer, who's a strategic planner for the garrison, he said, "Hey, Sergeant Major, one of the guest speakers kind of fell through, and he's like, would you be looking to do this?" And I'm like, absolutely. Well, I'm going to kind of give you a precursor. I've done it before at the chamber, but I thought it was going to be at the chamber. So I was like, it's not really a big venue. So I'm like, all right. I was like, of course. I was like, how big's the crowd going to be? And Charles was like, I'm not going to tell you. All right, so I was like, all right. I was like, so this is what I wrote, Charles. I was like, if it goes well, thank you. And if it doesn't, I'm going to ask, actually, I'll change this up. I'm going to ask Mr. Red to come up to give me some leadership coaching. He also said, hey, can you start it off, Sergeant Major, with a dad joke? I was like, all right. I was like, I don't know a lot of dad jokes. And Charles is very, he likes dad jokes. And he said, hey, so just start it off and say your unofficial title. He said, tell them you are the Garrison Command Sergeant Major of Fort Benning, Alabama. I looked at him and I'm like, Charles, I was like, I don't know if that's going to work truth be told, while Fort Benning does have the Georgia, address code, Fort Benning belongs just to Alabama just as much, and I'll give you some statistics on it. So we manage roughly 12,000 acres in Alabama. We're the third largest installation in the entire state of Alabama. 70% of our soldiers live off the installation, and 1/3 of them actually live right here on the East Alabama side. And out of that 40%, the 1/3, 40% of our retirees choose to select Alabama as their home. And it's funny because Jama and I, we just threw our retirement down, and Alabama's actually been a consideration as we've been looking at some land where we want to actually call home. And the partnership even goes deeper. Maybe some of you are familiar with some of this, but we have over 21 intergovernmental service agreements on the installation of Fort Benning. And that means that we are the number one out of the entire Army on these service agreements. But to give it in perspective, Alabama holds 8 of those, right? And that isn't the small feat. Alabama community leaders, provide a lot of different things for the installation, and I'll give you a few. So they provide road support, grounds maintenance, they maintain our training areas, and we even partner with some of our environmental and waste services just to maintain the installation. And I could probably deep dive it a little bit, but the Army pays the installation a lot of money. But we take that money and we try to put it back into the ecosystem of the business leaders that are out here today. And then we try to give that back to the community. So we invest right back, right? Which is really neat. And that doesn't happen by accident. This region is welcoming and supportive, like I said, and the people are deeply invested in this community. For Jana and I, those aren't just statistics. And I told you earlier, we're not originally from this area. We grew up in a really tiny town in Oklahoma. And when I say tiny, like you blink and you're pretty much right through this little town. And Jay Wickett can attest to it, but it's as far as like the eye can see with cornfields and wheat fields, depending on the season on what we're growing specifically for that year. And I'd never been here before, right? Just to kind of give it back into perspective, because I think this theme of my speech was to talk about relationships. So I raised my right hand in 2000. I only grew up in Oklahoma my entire life. And I didn't know anything else besides the Alan Jackson song, Waiting on Your Honor on the Chattahoochee. And you guys have probably heard that hundreds of times. But, going back, if you remember that video, right, he's like in some jeans, getting pulled up on that river, and I was like, I gotta go down one day. But I didn't know it was going to be in basic training. Yeah. But to tell you the truth, since that time, as I graduated basic training, I came back 10 different times. Right, 10 different times, right back here in the Chattahoochee River Valley. And every time I come back, for most of you that may not have ever left, but there's this scent. It's like a pine smell, right? Sometimes you go out to the river and you just get these different things. When you look and you're kind of pressing over to the Alabama side, coming from Mississippi, the trees look greener. And it's just the geography, right, that really just like pulls you in and like captivates you. And Benny came up with a really cool thing over at the installation. When you come in that gate and they're checking your ID card or you're just a visitor, they say, welcome home. And that resonates with a lot of folks, right? Like that's just something that's so impactful, that's very deep. Even thinking about it, kind of like puts emotion into me. As we continue building this out, I don't want to stay on my script here, I don't want to deviate too far. But to give you even some more perspective of how we build the community, Charles right here, he actually leads the Georgia-Alabama Partnership for Sustainability. And what that is about 2017, 2018, all the community leaders started coming together and they're like, what if a hurricane comes through here? They're like, not one single city can sustain itself. So all three, right, you got Alabama, Columbus, Fort Benning, and all the other little regional areas and towns. They said, let's get together and let's put our brains and let's figure out what resources that we can cross-communicate and share some of this stuff. And again, Mr. Hours has been a pivotal leader in providing a lot of that support. And every day, like I told you, he's a strategic planner and he always helps me see things through a different lens. So tonight really is celebrating excellence, the business leaders and organizations who make this region stronger, but it's also celebrating the connections that make this place unique. Like I mentioned, connections that make myself, the CSM, feel right at home no matter where I'm at, especially in a room full of community leaders and business leaders just like yourselves. So on behalf of the entire Fort Benning community, thank you. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your unwavering support. And thank you for your relationships that I've personally got to see over the years. They matter more than you know. Lastly, congratulations to all the honoraries tonight. And Charles, next time, I'm going to check the crowd size before I read anything. Thank you again, especially for having GM and I over here. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Command Sergeant Major, and all of our Fort Benning friends for being here tonight. We truly appreciate the partnership with our military. And I want to take a moment to thank one of our event sponsors, W.C. Bradley, founded in 1885. W.C. Bradley is privately held, diversified family of companies creating innovative, high-quality brands, products, properties, and services in indoor cooking, outdoor living, and recreational items, as well as real estate development and land management. They offer a wide range of leading consumer brands that share a common purpose: to bring people together, deliver amazing experiences, and create memorable moments. The brands include Badlands, Charcoal, Current, Oklahoma Joe's, Pit Boss, Tiki Brand, and W.C. Bradley Real Estate. Thank you, W.C. Bradley, for being an event sponsor tonight. Now, let's give them a large round of applause. Now, if our Chamber President and CEO, Melissa Gant, would come up, she can introduce tonight's keynote speaker. Melissa.
So Kelvin, for y'all that don't know Kelvin Red, we went to high school together. That's only been just a few minutes ago. Not quite as few as these students over here, but we had a lot of good times in high school. So he asked me, very specifically, I would like for you to introduce me. But when our sitting state representative says, I would like to introduce him, he'll have it. So Chris Blackshear is going to come and introduce. You'll understand why in a minute, because Kelvin is very structured. So we're going to see how adaptable our leadership coach really is. So I know you're going to be big mad at me, but you're okay. It's going to be okay.
Good evening, everybody. Kelvin and I go back a long way, and when Melissa called me and invited me, and I asked who's your keynote, and she said, Kelvin. I said, so what specific instructions has he given you? Because I know you have a list of them, probably like M&Ms and nuts behind the stage and things like that. I said, please allow me to introduce him, because we'll see how adaptive he really is. And I'm going to read the script, Kelvin, but I do want to say this. Kelvin and I go back over 20 years. And I remember before I retired from Total Systems, I was there for 20.5 years. From overnight, I went from being a part of a team of 17 people to the next morning being called into the office and said, okay, now you're managing the other 16 people. And I had no clue. I was friends with them, but when you go from a friend to being in the management position, you can still have a relationship with them, but you have to be able to adapt as the leader as much as the other individuals have to adapt to you. You also really find out how they really felt about you the entire time. You would go hang out with them after work when you're in the management role of things. And the first call I made was Kelvin. Kelvin said, well, have you ever done an emergenetics profile? I said, I can't even spell emergenetics, so what do you want me to do? I'll listen to anything you want me to do. So he did a profile on me, and I remember the day he called me and said, Chris, when can we meet? We need to talk. So what's wrong, Kelvin? He said, I've never seen so much red on an emergenetics profile in my life. I said, okay, what's red? He said, you're like in the 90th plus percentile in every category. You have no yellow, you have no blue. You're so structured, you're not analytical, you're just full steam ahead. You're going to scare people. They may take you out back and beat you behind the building. So I brought him into my team, and we went through 2 years worth of training of how I can be a better manager, how I can help guide my team to be better individuals. Because the ultimate goal is you want to train everybody to be your replacement. If you're in a management position, you don't want anybody to have your job one day, you're not the right job yourself. That's how we'll look at it. And Kelvin helped me with that. Our first meeting ever, he'll remember this. He wanted to do role play. So he put me and a young lady, which will remain nameless, on a couch in the end. And he starts asking questions, and we start bantering back and forth. In the middle, I felt like I was in marriage counseling. I mean, this lady, she was really getting upset about things. But what it taught me was, what Kelvin, I took away from the most of it is, you can still accomplish what you want to. But you're stronger as a team than you are as an individual. Your job as a leader is to set the course. But how do you motivate others to follow your lead? And that starts with communication. Trust and communication. And understanding everybody communicates a different way. And that's what I took away from Kelvin. And he'll talk about that, I hope, of that. So, enough of that. Put the checks in there with those comments. So, here's the real stuff. And by the way, I was going to make y'all 300 copies of these. This is the most fanciest profile I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. Thank you. It's really good information. I will send you $80 for my color printer cartridge replacement. Printing in color, not come out in black and white. But Kelvin Redd is a workplace team performance coach. He graduated from Central High School. He went on to Auburn University. He got a bachelor's in history there. And then he received his master's in management at Troy University. He started his career after spending 13 years at Synovus Financial, which was recognized by Fortune magazine as one of the best places to work in America. He held roles across human resources, branch management, governmental affairs, relationship management, rising all the way to vice president until he realized it was time for him to bet on himself, to take a chance and follow his passion, his dream, and that was to be a leadership coach. With that, he's the former director of the Center for Servant Leadership at Pastoral Institute. Kelvin led the initiative that resulted in Columbus, Georgia being named a Servant Leader City by the Greenleaf Center in 2010. It was the first time in history that any city in the world received that honor. Kevin's also an author. You know what he does in his free time? He writes books. He's authored 2 landmark books on the servant leadership. The first one, Stand Tall, Essays on Life and Servant Leadership, debuted at number 35 on the Amazon Business and Organizational Leadership list. I have a signed copy of that. I think I am some of the essays in that book. He will not confirm that. It's good read. I swear it's about some of them, it's about me. The second book is Define Your Destiny, a self-awareness journey towards servant leadership, debuted at number 15 on Amazon's top 100 leadership books list. Kelvin is the only Emergenetics Master Associate in Georgia and Alabama. Think about that for a second. He also recently joined 2 others to become a partner at the Emergenetics International. So this time we all just welcome to the stage, Kelvin Redd, our only Emergenetics Master Associate in Alabama and Georgia.
Thank you, Chris. In my notes it says thanks, Melissa. But thank you, Chris, for those warm words. Thank you, Melissa, for inviting me. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And thank you to the guests of honor for being here this evening. As they say in my home church, Gaines Chapel AME Church in Phoenix City, right across the river, I won't be long. I've been in business now for almost 11 years. On June 22nd this year, I would have been in business for 11 years. My first client was Dr. Griff Gordon in Gordon Eye Care. And there were 9 people in the Emergenetics workshop that I presented. And now the largest organization I work with is Southern Company. And they have 29,000 employees. But see, I'm not supposed to be here. I was a history major. I was all set to go into teaching. And one thing led to another, and I ended up at Synovus. And when I was there, Synovus was voted the best place to work in America. And when you work for a best place to work organization, you learn 2 of life's most
simple leadership truths. Number one, you learn what great leadership is. Number two, you learn what good leadership is not. And so when I was working at Synovus, and some of you who work there, you remember every Tuesday morning, we went to the Columbus Convention and Trade Center, and Jim Blanchard, our chairman and CEO, gave a master class on leadership. And I took all of that in. I sat there and I listened. And I thought that was the most wonderful thing in the world. And so right now, as a performance coach, one of the things that I do when someone asks me to come in and says, Kelvin, we want you to come and work with it and do some consulting with our organization or do some training. One of the first things I love to do is I like to go in and I want to see if your mission lines up with your action. And it's real easy to tell. As young people like to say, there's a hack to doing it. And so I want to make sure that they match up. But then after I left Synovus, I went to work for the Pastoral Institute. Now, I was there as an employee, not a client. But I will say this. One of the beauties of working at the Pastoral Institute is I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman by the name of William Turner, or Bill Turner, or as we affectionately call him, Mr. Bill. And I learned a tremendous amount from him. Now, I will say this, let me quantify something. My father, James B. Red, who used to be the head basketball coach at Central, as well as the chemistry and physics teacher there, he's had the biggest impact on my life. But second was Mr. Turner, because I had an opportunity to meet with Mr. Turner on a monthly basis, sometimes 2 and 3 times a month. And I had a chance to travel with him. And from him, I learned, I got a master class in business and in life. And Mr. Turner loved 2 things. He loved servant leadership and he loved emerging excellence. He was the one that was responsible for bringing both to this community. So when Melissa asked me to speak, and I looked at the mission says of the East Alabama Chamber of Commerce, it says, we build relationships to grow business. And I thought, this is a wonderful opportunity for me to talk about servant leadership. And that's my topic for this evening. Now, there are a lot of misnomers about servant leadership. And I'll give you an example. When I was working at the Pastoral Institute several years ago, this gentleman called me up, and many of you know him. He worked at one of the big 3 companies. I won't tell you which one it was. But he called me up and he said, Kelvin, I want you to do a workshop on servant leadership. I said, I'd love to. I said, let's talk. And we talked on the phone for about 30 minutes. And at the end of the conversation, he said, now, you're not going to talk about God. I said, no, we don't approach it like that. All right? So fast forward, 2 weeks before the workshop, we're talking about logistics, what time we're going to arrive, the audio-visual equipment, those kind of things. So at the end of the conversation, he goes, now, you're not going to talk about God. I said, no, John, we don't know. I said his name. I said, we don't approach it like that. Don't worry about it. And so on the day of the workshop, I arrived about 35, 40 minutes beforehand. He's there to meet me. We walk in, I'm walking down the hall, and just before we get to the training room, he stops and he goes, now, you're not going to talk about God, are you? And I stopped and I looked at him and said, listen, he's going to be in the room, okay? He's going to be there, all right? I'm not going to bring him up unless you do. Now, I have to have a couple of conversations with him during the workshop, and he'll be there, all right? So there are a lot of people don't understand servant leadership. So let me give you the definition of servant leadership. Here's the definition. Servant leadership is a lifelong journey that includes the discovery of oneself, a desire to serve others, and a commitment to lead. I'll say that one more time. Servant leadership is a lifelong journey that includes the discovery of oneself, a desire to serve others, and a commitment to lead. So if we unpack that definition, here's what you're going to gain. The first thing you understand, it's a commitment to lead. Has anyone in this room, have you ever heard of the term Dwizzywig? Have you ever heard that? Dwizzywig. It is D-W-Y-S-Y-W-D. It means do what you say you would do. It means follow through on your word. Harvey Mackay, who ran Medtronic, he once said, there will always be a place in the world for someone who says, I'll take care of it, and then does it. That's the commitment part. But there's also another word in it. It's lead or leadership. And at the very end of this, I'm going to tell you what the secret to leadership is. But here's my short definition of leadership. Leadership is the skill of influencing people to enthusiastically work toward goals identified as being for the common good. And that's by Jim Hunt. That's his definition. And there are 2 key words
in that definition. Here's the first one. It's skill. And what do we know about skill? Anybody yell at that? What do we know about skill? It's learned, right? It's practice. So you're not going to come here tonight and leave and go home and talk to your significant other or a friend or what have you, and they say, well, how'd you go tonight? Well, I went and I heard this servant leadership speech, and now I'm a servant leader. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to practice this. You got to work on it. You got to really understand it. And here's the next key word. The key word is influence. The ability to shape others' behavior. And just about everyone in here has it. See, leadership in any form, we're not talking about titles. We're talking about influence. There are people who you work with every day who are not in leadership positions who have more influence than leaders. So we're talking about influence. But here's the kicker. There's good influence, and then there's bad influence. So that goes hand in hand. There's good leadership, and there's bad leadership. The question is, what type of influence do you have? See, that's why I don't like the term soft skills. I hear my peers say soft skills. Let me just tell you something. They quantify, they put leadership under the category of soft skills. Let me tell you what I learned at the Pastor Institute. There is nothing in the world soft about dealing with every personality known to mankind. Leadership is hard. There's nothing soft about it. And I would be willing to bet the problems that you have at work right now, they're not task related. They're dealing with other people. It's tough dealing with people. And that's why I like emergent ethics. It's a shameless plug. Mr. Turner brought it in. But it's a personality assessment that measures why you think and behave the way that you do. I mean, if I understand how you like to think, and I understand how you like to behave, I can motivate you. But if I don't understand that, then guess what's going to happen? I'm going to project my personality onto yours. The second part of servant leadership. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey. You never arrive. That's why I cringe when folks tell me, well, I'm a servant leader, or I'm self-aware. No. You're on the journey towards self-awareness. You're on the journey towards servant leadership. You're always in a state of becoming. You can always better your best. And here's the third and final thing I want to share with you. The discovery was not the final thing, it's the third thing. The discovery of oneself. I can't tell you how many times I heard Bill Turner say that self-awareness was the most important characteristic of a servant leader. You see, these days, everybody likes to talk about leadership. Leadership. But nobody talks about self-awareness. And the two are inextricably linked. You can't have one without the other. Self-awareness comes before leadership. And how do I define self-awareness? My personal definition of self-awareness, understanding who you are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, utilizing your strengths to overcome your weaknesses, but at a far deeper level, understanding and knowing your reason for being. In other words, why are you here? Why are you here? Did you wake up this morning, same as you did yesterday morning, to go to a job that you don't like? To set a goal that you don't have? Why are you here? But you see, that's internal self-awareness. Internal self-awareness are your dreams, your goals, your values, your morals. That's all about you. But there's also external self-awareness. And external self-awareness quite simply means, how do the people in your sphere of influence, how do the people that you see each and every day, how do they feel about you? And if you're in a leadership position, and looking around this room, just about everybody, and I'm talking about leadership from a title perspective, but if you're in a position of leadership, a formal position, and you don't think it's important how other people view you, oh, your tenure may not end very well. See, when I worked at Synovus, and we were voted the best place to work in America, a large part of that designation was a 125-question survey on the representative sample of employees. And they twisted that survey all types of ways. I believe about 50% of those questions were asked in some kind of way, how do you like your leadership? How do you like your supervisor? And let me just say, think about this. If you get voted the best place to work in America, out of all the companies in America, your employees are not saying, we like you. Your employees are saying, we absolutely love you. Do you know how hard that is to get thousands of employees on board to say, wow, we think enough of you that we think you're the best in the country? So think about that. Self-awareness is so critical. And Dr. Tasha Urich, who's done a lot of study on it, she says that only 10% of society is self-aware. We're missing the boat. I got a phone call from a college recently, and the HR director says, we want you to come in and we want you to do some conflict resolution. And I was like, have you ever tried? Well, I knew they tried emergent edit, but she was new. I said, have you tried emergent edit? She said, no, we don't want that. I'm like, man, you're putting the cart before the horse. If I understand how my employees think, then guess what? We're going to minimize conflict. So you always have to start with self first. Self-awareness, leadership is an inside job. It starts in here. And then the final one, the fourth point, a desire to serve others. Napoleon Hill, in his groundbreaking book, Think and Grow Rich, he said that desire was step one to all achievement. Not a wish, not a want, but a keen, pulsating desire. And you're in a leadership position. You gotta want this. You signed up for this. You signed up to be the leader. You're passionate about it. But guess what? Did you know in Latin the word passion means to suffer? Yeah, you will suffer when you're in a leadership position. Let me just say another thing too. Let me tell you about an unwritten phrase in your job description. It's there, but you may not have recognized it. Right? Nobody ever told you this. You're in a formal leadership position, manager, supervisor, president, soon to be congressman, I don't know, chamber president, what have you. But when you're in a formal leadership position, criticism comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. So don't get so frustrated, oh, they don't like this. Keep your eyes focused on the job, which is people. Because in essence, that's one of the things I've been talking about here today. Don't focus on yourself. When I was working at the Pastoral Institute, Dr. Lon King, you could hear him going from door to door often saying, it's all about relationships. It's all about relationships. He come to my office, Kelvin, it's all about relationships. And we live in a society right now where people stop talking, we don't communicate, we don't acknowledge each other, and we're divided over probably some of the stupidest stuff in the world, and all we have is each other. And we have a limited amount of time coming through this place we call life. So it's all about relationships. And at work, take care of your people. Mr. Bill Turner used to always say, if you take care of the people, the profits will take care of themselves. So I challenge you tonight, when you get back to the workplace tomorrow, take care of your people. And I told you at the very beginning, I was going to give you the secret of leadership. The secret of leadership comes down to a four-letter word. And that is, love who you are, love what you do, and love the people you've been entrusted to serve. Love conquers all. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelvin, for those inspiring words. Relationships. What it's all about, right? I love it. Let's give him another round of applause. Awesome job. Let's take a moment and recognize another one of our event sponsors tonight, Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor and his awesome department. They came out to our Trip-tacular this weekend. They brought some of their cool vehicles, and they showed them off, and they're really cool. And including their command station, which is pretty awesome. I spent a lot of time in there because it was air conditioned. It's very impressive, and we all know, let's just face it, we all know he's at the conference tonight. We all know if he was here, he'd be sitting right up here out front with his big cowboy hat on, looking all fancy, right? Am I right? Right? So anyway, the Sheriff's Department's mission is to serve the community and provide public safety in Russell County. They support the chamber all year, and they have a few openings. So if anybody out here wants to join the force, by all means, they're looking for a few great people and a great career in law enforcement. So thank you, Heath Taylor and the Russell County Sheriff's Department. Could we please give them a large round of applause? Now, before we jump into tonight's awards, I want to highlight something really special happening through the East Alabama Chamber Foundation. Two programs that are making a real difference in the community. Leadership East Alabama and Young Leaders of East Alabama are all about growing strong, connected leaders. Over the course of 8 to 9 months, participants come together one day each month. They get a behind-the-scenes look at key parts of our community: business, government, education, healthcare, and more. If you've been in that leadership program or young leader, would you please raise your hand just if you've been through our leadership program? Awesome, awesome. But more than that, they build great relationships, they expand their networks, and walk away with a deeper understanding of how they can make an impact right here in East Alabama. And now it is my pleasure to invite someone who's experienced this program firsthand, Dr. Ron Pearl, to come up and share a little about Leadership East Alabama.
Not asked to follow Kelvin, so I'm sorry in advance. But as he said, I own a dental practice with my husband in Phoenix City. We're next door neighbors with Melissa and Denise, and they are really hard to say no to if anybody knows them. So we were there having a team meeting, and they said, "Hey, do you have anybody that you'd like to send to this, leadership program? We'd really like for somebody from your practice to be involved." And I kept kind of putting it off, and again, they're hard to say no to. So I said yes, and I'm so glad that I did. A little bit about my background. From the time I was in high school, I've been in some form of a leadership role. So I've been a president of my class in high school. I was a Goodwill ambassador at the University of Georgia. I was ASDA president in dental school. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying there's a difference between being in a leadership role and being an actual leader. And one of the biggest, most dynamic things that has helped me with that has been this program. When I became a mother and became a business owner, I started putting leadership roles on the back burner in regards to being in the community and just doing anything outside of, I'm not trying to say I became selfish, but I became a little bit selfish. I was just so invested in those girls and my husband, and this program has helped me realize that there's so much need out there. There's so many needs for leadership. There's so many needs for us, like getting different perspectives. And this group really is grouped from healthcare, from education, from government, and we all come together with these different perspectives. And it is eye-opening. I mean, I became friends with people in this group that I never would have became friends with had we not gotten together. They're helping me in hiring roles for my team. And so really what I want you to see, what the big lesson from this is, say yes to Melissa and Denise. But also, it teaches you about servant leadership. Kelvin, Christina, from Christina Coaches, have been dynamic people in this program, and it is so much more than meeting monthly on a Friday, because I really didn't think I could sacrifice that time, and now I'm so glad that I did. So please, if you have it's aspiring leaders in your business that you think would succeed in this program, I highly encourage you to send them. Thank you.
So say yes, that's what you're supposed to do, just say yes. Say yes, yes. Hey, by the way, thank y'all for having that little parking lot that I can do the back way to the chamber. Just saying, I use it quite often, so we appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you haven't gone through the program, we certainly recommend that you get in touch with Melissa. For learning about the community leadership development, it's truly a great experience. I've had the opportunity to do that myself, but it's a wonderful experience for you and your employees. The Young Leaders of East Alabama program is for students in East Alabama, including Phoenix City, Russell County, and Smith Station areas. And we have a quick video of this year's class that was filmed and edited, so if you will, please pay attention to the screen for this video.
Hey, I'm Peyton Linder, chairman of the leader program for East Alabama Chamber of Commerce, and I am passing this microphone to Ella Knight.
Hi, my name is Ella Knight. I am a mentor in the Young Leaders program, and I think my favorite part of this program is the connections it's given me and the involvement in my community and kind of the impact it has for me in my future career. Pass this to the student with the coolest hair, Bailey.
Hey guys, I'm Bailey Hunter. My nickname is
from these leaders is probably all of us going to Easter Series. That was my favorite thing. I also love all of the new friends that I've made, but I have some phone so we can ask the most questions.
My name is Bailey England, and Young Leaders has been such an experience to me because I've gotten to meet so many people, experience so many more opportunities, and just put my name out there and network. And I'm passing the phone to the person who sympathizes the most with animals.
Hi, my name is Lucy, and I think my favorite experience with the Young Leaders program would be going to these different businesses and seeing what the community brings, especially in a small town like Kansas City, Columbus. I'm passing the phone to the person who is the most dedicated when it comes to our service project. Hi, my name is Emma. My favorite part of the Young Leaders program was probably all the connections we got to make and all the different jobs we got to learn about. There's so many jobs in our community I had absolutely no clue about, and it truly was a very eye-opening experience, and I'm very, very grateful to be part of this program. And I'm passing the phone to the most nonchalant person in this group.
My name is Aaron. My favorite thing about Young Leaders is meeting the governor and making new friends. I'm passing the phone to the quietest person in Young Leaders.
I'm Mexican, and the most important experience that I've had with this program is all the people that I got to meet, and experiences that I got to have. I wouldn't have gotten to meet otherwise. And when we got to go talk to Athletic Power and all over our community, experience real jobs, experiences not so basic we can have within this community from Kansas City, County, and Columbus. Now passing on to person who makes the program go Brown Tigers. And shout out to Ms. Melissa Evans, who does all that kind of work.
Certainly an incredible program. Let's give them both. I thought I just heard something about a student with the best hair. Okay, never mind. Maybe I was just hearing. All right, sponsorship recognition time. Thank you to CDCC for being an awesome event sponsor. Chattahoochee Valley Community College is proud to serve the community by providing accessible, high-quality education and workforce training that meets the evolving needs of the region. Through strong partnerships with local businesses and organizations, the college develops programs that prepare students for in-demand careers and support economic growth. CDCC is focused on building a stronger future for the region through education and workforce excellence. Thank you again, CDCC. Let's give our friends at CDCC a large round. All right, now I don't really hand the mic over, but now I get to turn the mic over to the one and only Denise Dubois Phelan.
So this is the first and only time that I'll get to speak tonight, so I just want to say I absolutely love this job. And we did not put in the script all the very sweet things that everybody said, so thank you. It's very, terribly good. So the first awards that we're going to present are the Young Citizens Award Scholarships. This is the second time we have included the Young Citizens Awards in our annual dinner, and we are thrilled that our chamber community gets to help to celebrate these students. We also wanted to see these students see the celebration of the businesses and the leaders in their community. The Young Citizens Awards are meant to honor students in the East Alabama community who have excelled in a given category. Each of our East Alabama high schools, including Phoenix City, Linwood, Russell County, and Smith Station, produce talented students who will one day lead our community. These students will be charged with making decisions that affect East Alabama, and the Young Citizens Awards hopes to spark a community spirit in these young people in hopes that their time and talent will be used here. The Young Citizens Award Program is a collaboration between the East Alabama Chamber Foundation and local businesses to make these scholarships possible. Those businesses are Beam Broadband and the Citizen of East Alabama, Smurf at West Rock, Taylor Funeral Home, Buffalo Rock Pepsi, Russell County Commission, and Synovus. We thank these businesses so much for supporting this program. The Young Citizens Award nominees complete an application, and it's reviewed by a panel of judges. Judges then conduct interviews with each student. And tonight we'll award first place winners with $1,200 scholarships. There is a winner in each of 6 categories: academic, art, athletics, career tech, community service, and journalism. In its 8th year, the Young Citizens Awards has given approximately $90,000 to local students to help them with college and career expenses. So let's give a round of applause for this program and its sponsors.
Let's do it. All right, let's give away some scholarship money. Are we good with that? Awesome. You know, last time I did that, it was a government member. She didn't. She was showing. All right, here we go. As I call each recipient's name and category, please join me in welcoming them to the stage to accept their award. We're going to take some photos in front of the background, and we're going to ask them to stay right there so we can get a group photo. Actually, we're going to take photos, and we'll get everybody to stand to the side and then come back and do a big group photo. All right? Are we ready? Table 2, are we ready? Room, are we ready? I got more coming over there. I lost it. All right, so our first category of academics, Smith Station High School's Ethan Nyla is our winner. One of his teachers described Ethan as someone with exceptional character, academic excellence, and unwavering dedication to leadership and service. He was named valedictorian of his class, and he has a strong love for physics. His ability to lead by example has earned him the respect of both students and faculty members. Give this man a round of applause. Awesome. All right, we're going to get your name right over there. We're coming back for a group photo in a moment. In the art category, tonight's winner is Central High School's Mackenzie Jackson. All right. Her teachers have said Mackenzie has grown into a brilliantly talented young woman and has found her voice through dance, song, and acting. She has become a superstar, and her performances show it. Mackenzie also went through Chambers Young Leadership Program last year and is the current Miss Phoenix City's outstanding team. Congratulations. All right. In the athletics category, the winner is Russell County High School's Vala Brooks. Her teacher said she has made a meaningful impact because she not only excels on the soccer field and flag football field, but she earned the Academic Achievement Award for maintaining strong academic performance while competing as an athlete. She also volunteers at events and even created love page journals, where journals of positive messages are given to children in foster care. She is truly a well-rounded young woman. Please give Vala Brooks a round of applause. Awesome. And now in the career tech category, Central High School's Jackson Upshaw. The school counselor said Jackson is a kind student who is wise beyond his years and truly serves his school and community with his heart first. About career tech, Jackson said during the application process that since he stepped into the health science pathway as a freshman, he recognized that these classes were not just about memorizing medical terminology or procedures, but also about understanding the connection between knowledge and service and skill and responsibility. Jackson is also in our Young Leaders group as well this year, so we wish you the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Upshaw. All right, our next category in community service, we have a tie. All right, the winners are Russell County's Isabella Williams and community service contribution by founding Winter Wishes, a project that addresses food insecurities and clothing needs at Russell County High School. The program has served more than 85 families in the community. Her passion for civic engagement, leadership, and creating meaningful change demonstrates her dedication to improving the lives of others. Thank you so much, Isabella. Smith Station's Libby Parker serves her greater community by participating in efforts to feed homeless people and offering kindness and dignity to those she serves. She has participated in mission trips to New Mexico, El Paso, and Ecuador, and serves her church as a lead worship volunteer and mentoring young students on her youth leadership team. Her teacher said what separates her is not simply the number of service hours she's completed, but the heart behind the work. She leads with compassion, consistency, and a deep sense of responsibility to others. We're so proud of both of you ladies for being such great examples to your generation, and congratulations, ladies. Another round of applause. I had a chance to be a judge in journalism, so I was excited about that. So excited. So finally, in the journalism category, our winner is Central's Kamari Johnson. She found her voice during her time at Central and has become a brilliant, passionate student. She has served on Red Devils TV for 3 years and enjoys capturing the energy and excitement of Friday Night Lights. KJ was part of the Young Leaders program last year, and I'm telling you, the Young Leaders is a group of the best and bright leaders in our community, just like this young lady, KJ. We're so thrilled to present you with this award. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. And with that in mind, we're excited about all of our young folks. Let's get them all up here for a big group photo. And while we're taking their group photo, I want to take a moment to thank our final event sponsor, because she is very near and dear to my heart, like really near to me right now. Like really near, holding the camera. Love her. Pearl Images is one of our great partners in photographs. She photographs everything we need, and we love her. You've seen Shaquilla walking around and capturing tonight's memories. She also has a photo booth that she came to tonight. And if you haven't yet, please take photos of your crew at her booth before you leave. Shaquilla, thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for being such a wonderful member of our chamber. We love you so much. Would y'all please join me in giving this one? I feel like I should do like a movie trailer. And now the moment you've been waiting for. Right? It's time to celebrate some of our outstanding individuals and businesses that have made a significant impact on our community over the past year with our annual awards. Each year, the East Alabama Chamber asks its members to nominate businesses and individuals who they feel have made a difference. Our membership certainly did not disappoint, because the businesses and friends who were nominated truly deserve these awards. After the nomination process, the Chamber asks its members to vote on the nominees who we choose to win tonight. These are the people who will be recognizing. It was certainly tough because all the nominees, as we all know, were fantastic. And we asked the winners to meet us on stage to accept the award. So here we go. Let's get our winners up here. Our first award tonight is the Economic Impact Award, presented by last year's winner, United Way, Jennifer Bickerstaff. Would you please come to the stage? This award honors a business or organization that has made a substantial financial and developmental impact on our regional economy. The recipients' investments, expansions, or contributions to workforce development have played a critical role in strengthening the business climate and fostering long-term prosperity. The nominees are Goodwill Industries, Griggs Enterprises, Sierra Pacific, and Synovus. Jennifer.
Good evening, everyone. And as you see from the diversity of the nominees tonight, thanks to the leadership of your chamber, they recognize that economic development is an ecosystem. Each one of Goodwill Industries.
Here he comes. I love these metal glasses. I'm going to take them from him before it's over with. He just doesn't know. Love these folks, man. Y'all get loud for them. Come on. Squeeze in tight. Come on. Somebody's got a leg across the front? Never mind, we'll do it. Another round of applause, please. All right, our Small Business of the Year award is presented by T.J. Jordan of River City Doors. Please make your way to the stage, T.J. Come on. Skip, you gotta skip. This award for business with this award is for businesses with fewer than 50 employees, and it recognizes a business that positively impacts the East Alabama region through leadership and community initiatives, economic growth, and local support. The nominees are Alternative Marketing, Freedom Farms, Cowan Supply, Mike and Ed's, and Mitchum Lawn. TJ.
Hi everyone, it is a pleasure and an honor to pass the torch to this year's Small Business of the Year. And the winner is Mike and Ed's Barbecue. Unfortunately, Chase is not here tonight, so I'm honored to accept this award for him, and we'll get it to him this week. And you guys all know he won before he did.
Thank you, TJ. Now for our Major Employer of the Year. This award presented by Paula Thompson. Paula, coming up yet? Paula Dishes. This award recognizes a large employer with more than 50 employees that significantly contributes to the economic growth of the region. The nominees are Aflac, Chick-fil-A, Alabama Power, the City of Phoenix City, Columbus Hospice, CBCC, and W.C. Bradley Company.
Good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to see who is in this gold car, and the 2026 Major Employer of the Year goes to, I feel like I have the branches, Chick-fil-A!
Mark is going to be, Todd couldn't be here tonight, so Mark is going to be accepting the award on. Charlie's Angels Post, come on. All right, our Young Leader of the Year award tonight is going to be presented by Peyton Linder, 2024's winner. Scott Phillips, our 2025 winner, couldn't be with us tonight as he and his wife just welcomed their very first baby girl. So, how about a round of applause for our buddy? This award celebrates an emerging leader under 40 who's making a positive impact through their work and community involvement. And the nominees are Ashley Brown from Beam Broadband and AMP, Caroline Gibbons from VectorPlot, Chelsea Arrington Brown from Generational Changers, Elodie Hitchcock from Columbus United, Matt Hill from the Columbus River Dragons, and Taisha Bryant from We Have a Purpose. Hey.
Thank you. It's an honor to stand up here and represent the young leaders, and honestly, I have to say, I feel blessed to be in an area where we not only recognize our young leaders, but we support them and empower them from being under 40 all the way to high school. So I thank our community and our leaders for supporting such generational talents. And now let's continue the anticipation, and we're going to build this success and stress. Oh, okay. Let's congratulate the Young Leader of the Year, Mr. Matt Hill.
I think the River Dragons had a fantastic season, just saying. Go Dragons! Another round of applause for Matt. All right, we're excited to announce our individual leader of the year. This award is presented by Chandra Wright, 2025's winner. Please come up, Chandra Wright. There she comes. We need some walk-up music. This prestigious honor is given to an individual who exemplifies outstanding leadership, service, and commitment to making East Alabama a better place to live and work. The nominees are Barry Oswald, County Benefits, Paula Thompson, Russell County Schools, Jermaine Phillips, CPR by Phil, Shakia Miller, Fight for Our Children, Scott Holmes, McMillan, Pazin, Smith Architecture, and TJ Jordan, River City Door and Cruise Planners by TJ. Chandra.
Good evening. It is my honor and privilege to announce the Individual of the Year 2026 to Ms. Paula Thompson.
All right, we gotta keep it a secret. Shh. Now we're not a secret any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, Paula Thompson, our individual of the year. So, I love this. Right? It's all fun. Here we go. Tonight's Chamber Champion Award is presented by my friend Stephen Goen from Buffalo Rock Pepsi. Stephen, come on up. This award recognizes an outstanding chamber business that has shown an extraordinary commitment to supporting the Chamber's mission. This award is given to a business that actively engages in chamber initiatives, fosters collaborations, and serves as an advocate for regional business growth. The nominees are AMP, CPR by Phil, Christina Coaches, Columbus River Dragons, Courtyard Marriott, and Vector Ply. Steve.
Chamber champion for 2026, Christina Coates.
Right? This is great. A little Mark Morrison for you. Woo-hoo! Oh, awesome. Another round of applause for tonight's Chamber Champion. you, Stephen. Tonight's Community Champion Award is presented by Dan Woodward. If you'll please join us on stage, sir. This award honors a business, individual, or organization dedicated to strengthening our community through service, leadership, and philanthropy. The recipient's efforts exemplify the Chamber's core values: member-focused support, collaboration, and integrity, making a lasting impact on the well-being of East Alabama. The nominees for this award are Beam Broadband, Columbus Clingstones, Chance Corbett, Goodwill Industries, Ice Streams of Fort Mitchell, and Russell County Advocacy Center. Dan.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. In a community and a room full of such overachievers, this is a big deal and a privilege. And the community champion is Beam Broadband.
Come on, Beam! Let's get over here. By the way, Dan, you have great hair. Look at these awesome folks coming over. There goes my neighbor. Congrats, y'all. All right, next we have the Spirit of the Chamber Award tonight. The Spirit of the Chamber Award honors an individual or business that embodies the heart of East Alabama Chamber of Commerce's mission, building strong relationships to grow businesses in our community. This award recognizes those who go above and beyond in their dedication and commitment to this community, actively supporting the Chamber's initiatives and fostering meaningful partnerships across the region. The recipient serves as a true champion for the Chamber and may work tirelessly behind the scenes in support of many causes, giving back to the community that they serve, our community. Their passion and service reflect the spirit of collaboration that drives business successes and community growth. Come on, Melissa. You do this.
And the winner is Griggs Enterprises.
Congratulations to Griggs Enterprises. Tonight is our Ambassador of the Year. This award is decided by the Chamber staff and Executive Board to honor a volunteer who truly goes above and beyond the call to help Melissa and me make the Chamber's initiative and event successful. This year's award goes to a man who shows up to help no matter how much he's already done. He helps organize, set up, greet, and has even fixed some things in our office when Melissa and I don't know what to do, which is rare. And the winner is Mr. Jermaine Phillips.
Love Chuck.
He speaks the AC, he's drawn maps for us, he's helped us all learn CPR. I mean, this guy's everywhere. Please give him a large round of applause. Table number 2. Better yet, let's give all our nominees and award winners a large round of applause. Come on. We certainly hope you have enjoyed your evening. We hope you enjoyed your meal. We hope you enjoyed all the festivities, all the awards. And now I would like to welcome our Chamber President and CEO, Melissa Gant, to share some exciting updates about the Chamber.
I got all the way to the end before I had to speak. Did y'all like that? Because you know I love this part so much. So let me just say, we are truly not kidding when we tell you that we're glad that you guys have to nominate and vote, and that we don't have to do any of that. All we get to do is count the votes. So we're super thankful that that is on you, and we appreciate you giving these incredible nominees the props that they deserve, because they truly are good people that is making a great difference in not just the chamber, but in the community at large. So thank you very much for your nominees and for your votes. We did have a record vote this year. Like, we were surprised at how many votes. We actually tried to make sure that it wasn't a bot doing it, because it was so many votes coming in. We're so excited for that. So thank you very much for that. And because you know we love awards, because this event is probably one of our favorites. But we love awards. We like to receive awards too. So you're going to get to be the first to know tonight that if we weren't hanging out with you fine people, that we would be in Huntsville, Alabama, accepting at the Alabama Chamber's Night of Champions. We would be accepting our accreditation. So we are officially Alabama certified or accredited as an Alabama Chamber of Commerce. So thank you very much. So we couldn't share it until today. So thank you very much if you can go out and spread the word. We're excited about it. And so we're super happy that at some point we'll get an award too. So as we wrap it up tonight, it wouldn't be an annual dinner if I didn't talk about our strategic direction. So I promise to keep it short, and I'll try to make it interesting to you. There's going to be a quiz at the end, just so you're paying attention. Don't fall asleep on us. It's going to be short. So we as a chamber had our strategic planning earlier this year, and we decided that we would focus on 4 specific areas. You've heard about most of them tonight, and I will reiterate what Denise said. None of the script included anything props to me and Denise, but we do truly appreciate all the compliments, but we don't do this alone. If we didn't have the ambassadors and the board members and all the volunteers that we had, we absolutely couldn't get done. We are already dynamic duo. I'm going to tell you, Wonder Twin Power activate. If you know that, you're real old. But I just want y'all to know we couldn't do it without our volunteers. And so I want to say thank you, first of all, to them and to our board members who make this all possible for us, and more specifically to our sponsors, because this night wouldn't happen without them. So thank y'all very much for that. But the first area that we will focus on is our membership and engagement. We will continue to build on the 20-plus networking events that we had last year, which include our big breakfast and business. It's easy for me to say. Business after hours and our lunch and learns. We've also added a coffee with a coach with Christina, and we will continue to find more valuable ways to bring value to your membership. So know that that's one of our focuses, because we know that we don't exist without members. So it's what we have to do first and foremost is find value for you. So that's our #1 goal. We also will continue to invest in our leadership programs. You've heard, we very specifically put that into this program tonight because we do a lot of work in the leadership arena, but we don't talk a ton about it. So this is the first time this year that we actually included that into the program, so that people actually hear more about those programs and that they can actually see the value that it brings. things that and it's not, this is not a Melissa lead you through leadership, because Melissa's still going through leadership herself. It's you're hearing from great community leaders, you're meeting community partners that absolutely help make the community what it is. And we have some great leadership coaches that actually give us their talents that help us mature you as a professional, and you and your staff actually get some great training along the way. But it builds relationships, because as we've said, the Chamber's mission is to build relationships. So it builds relationships not just with your classmates, but with the people that you'll meet through that program, that you'll lean on later, that sometimes you'll remember, hey, I met that person when I was on the leadership class to the government center or whatever. So you'll go back and say, hey, what was that guy's name that we met over there? So it's a great program. If you haven't gone through it, we welcome you to go. It'll start again in August. We'll start accepting applications here pretty soon. So watch for that coming to you. We know that communities don't evolve by accident. It evolves by being effective leaders, putting people in effective places, and being very intentional about the way that they go about bringing leadership to life. The third thing that we'll do is our regionalism. We'll continue to host events that brings our whole region together. For instance, our Trucktacular that Dave talked about, that we just hosted this past Saturday. We brought together probably 5,000 to 6,000 community partners with kids and families, and just had a lot of plain fun. It was really cool to see the little kids to get on the vehicles that truly make the businesses that make this community what it is. And when you hear the little kid that says, "This is the best day of my whole life," I was like, this is exactly why we do this event. So we're so excited to do that every year. And I will tell you that we probably will not do it 3 days before our annual dinner. Again, who was thinking that planning? Denise, how did you let me do that? It was on me. I get it. So probably won't be 3 days before our annual dinner next time. So we'll be thankful for that. Probably our most impactful event is our Leading Ladies Luncheon. And I've told everybody that I'm not going to cry tonight, so we're not going to talk about the Leading Ladies Luncheon. So what I will tell you is that it is amazing, and I will tell you that we hear you, that it's going to have to be bigger next year. And we also hear you too, men, that y'all are jealous and that you want your own event like it, because it's super cool, brings huge impact and a lot of connections. So we hear you, and as I said, me and Denise are the dynamic duo, but we're not men. So you're going to have to help with that. So congratulations, you get to help with planning the men's event. We're happy to pull it together for you. And because when people show up and engage, it tells us we're on the right track. And fourth, we will work together on workforce development. Our goal is to bring together the business community to our education partners and build the best opportunities for growth and to help shape the future of East Alabama. But we know none of this can be done without you. Let's continue to live out the mission of the Chamber, building relationships to grow business. And as in any good relationship, it takes time to build it, but you only get out of it what you put into it. So you get what you give. Serve